Hello indie game fans, what a week, what a week. The long anticipated release of a roguelike title will surely dominate indie game headlines for weeks to come, but I do have a nice variety of games to show off, including one extremely weird one which I love, as well as an unexpected Metroidvania entry, this time on the best indie games this week. Splunky II was teased almost 3 years ago, and at the time, many people could not believe that this sequel was coming, considering how adored Splunky HD was and how it was built as the perfect game. As of recording, the Polygon review for this game is already out with a simple headline, Perfection, so you can certainly see how high the expectations are for this game. Interestingly, from what I have heard on the grapevine, it seems not so much a sequel, but more of an enhanced remake where certain aspects are retained like the core climbing, whips, rocks, spiders, snakes and so on, but tweaked just a little bit to make everything new enough. Sure, there are new mechanics, characters and even things like liquid physics, but it is unmistakably Splunky for better or worse. I guess we will all know pretty soon, although PC players will have to wait about 2 more weeks. The original Vaporum was a pretty good first-person dungeon crawler that released in 2017, following in the footsteps of The Legend of Grimrock, but with more of a Bioshock aesthetic, and Lockdown is the next entry in the franchise, although it is technically a prequel. A real throwback dungeon crawler experience, but modernized with fancy graphics and polish, this one should be a great entry as well.
Look who's here. A little rat lost in the maze of your own making, huh?
I have a soft spot for this developer, who made Gunman Clive 1 and 2, as well as Maxtermination Force, and his next title is Super Punch Patrol, a beat-em-up title that uses that signature art style but in a new genre. The action and combat looks fun, with parts of this really reminding me of Streets of Rage, and as with his previous title, it is releasing on Switch first.
Nice.
Hooray!
Justice shall prevail. Azaroga!
A not-so-indie title is the Dungeon of Nephilim, the Amulet of Chaos, a tactical RPG set in a high fantasy setting.
My power grows. Euclid be my witness.
This is from a good-sized studio, all things considered, but the tactics combat does look good, with a light-hearted tone and wacky characters.
Exactly what I needed.
It's time to rock out with your gun out with BPM Bullets Per Minute, a roguelite rhythm first-person shooter where you need to fire, jump, reload and such on the beat. Might be the first game in this subgenre to make it to market, the next one that I can think of being Metal Hellsinger, so I'm curious about the execution. although slaying demons as a Valkyrie should be fun. Medieval games and first-person sims tend to be pretty popular, and when you put 2 and 2 together, you get Medieval Dynasty. It looks ambitious and has that sort of feel of a game that would blow up, so keep an eye on this. The satirical RPG Doom and Destiny is back with the third entry titled Worlds, which looks to be even more of this wonderful JRPG series. This is fourth wall breaking in that your party is comprised of 4 nerds, but if the earlier 2 entries are anything to go by, the writing should be pretty good in this as well. This is open world in structure, allowing you to freely explore, but there are mining and digging mechanics that seem to make things even more freeform. There's base building, farming, crafting and more, but a solid JRPG foundation ties everything together. One title which I've had my eye on is Welcome to Elk, an adventure game that just has a fantastic art style, but the stories that it wants to tell seem to be actually pretty messed up as well, so definitely more than meets the eye. There's a nice variety of minigames, as well as what looks like good writing, so a very interesting entry in the adventure game space. Buckle up for the weird gods, which, when I initially came across it, had no idea what to expect, with the semi-dragon things and just an insane art direction. The core action looks to be to cover the entire level in your color, where you do have one bullet to take out opponents, and it has both a single player campaign and a multiplayer mode for up to 4 players. Weird is great in my book, so I'm very interested in this. The release of Huck crept up on me since it was only revealed a couple of months ago, but we will be able to get hands-on very soon. It is set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland with some beautiful pixel art, animations and lighting effects, so I'm expecting great things from this. Strangely enough, it is releasing in early access, which has always been a strange concept to me for this type of game, and it launches with 3 story chapters with early access planned for a year. However, given that it's my favourite combination of art style and genre, it takes the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos and I will see you after the jump.